Hello, this is Gen83, and this is episode 20 of the My Team Lotus career mode, and we're here in Mexico for a circuit I quite like in this game, which is good. I've had good history around here in league racing as well, so hopefully I'll do a good job at the track this weekend for the team. And first off, apologies for the lack of videos this week. I was doing some volunteering, so yeah, I had not much spare time through the week, but it should hopefully that's all done now, so it should be back to daily uploads for next week until for a little bit at least. But yeah, into practice for the Mexican Grand Prix. All the deltas were very straightforward, as you probably expect, with the such a high-speed long straights at this circuit. Basically means that all the deltas are really easy to get, and yeah, plenty of resource points coming into the team there. I've done the ERS test. We're pretty much using no ERS all lap, and we're still just about ahead of the delta as well. So yeah, very nice to see. And yeah, pace in USA was pretty disappointing last weekend, or last race, sorry. Yeah, hopefully we can get a better job actually scraping the wall there on the exit of the last corner, but we've done the delta easily, and that's the race strategy for more 50 points. So obviously late in the season we want to be saving those points really for next season now, but into qualifying, getting out of Q1 is the aim, but back in USA I didn't actually manage that, and on my first lap in Q1, Magnussen here has just come out of the pit lane. You can see the ERS saving mode on, and he's absolutely blocking me into next week, and ridiculous driving really from the Dane in the Haas, but picking up maybe a little bit of slipstream on the run down to turn 4, but really he lost me at least half a second there through the first complex of corners. But through the middle and final sector, through the stadium section now, trying to brake nice and late for the hairpin here. I don't like the flow of these corners very much, but the rest of the lap really is very fun to drive, in my opinion. We're coming around the final corner now, and up to the line it's going to be a 14, is it? A 14.5 actually, which puts me in P4 at the minute, only 7/10 off Hamilton. And that was all I had to do in Q1. Surprisingly, the pace was unbelievable for me. I'm 3/10 ahead of De Vries, so it's the first time I've out-qualified him as a teammate, which is pretty ridiculous really. But I'm through to Q2 quite comfortably, only on one lap as well. So, and this time I got a bit of deja vu because Bottas coming out of the pits as well, the same situation as Magnussen. But this time, because of his 99 awareness, he's actually going to get out of my way, which is very kind of him. So yeah, the run through turn 1, 2 and 3 should be a lot cleaner this time. And yeah, down towards the next corner, going a much cleaner exit as well. And through the middle sector on this lap in Q2, the flow through here I found unbelievable. The aero and the chassis of this car, I think we're 3rd on the aero and 4th on the chassis with the upgrades that we've been putting on. So yeah, it's very fun to drive in high-speed corners. You can see we're purple in the middle sector at the minute. Obviously not everyone's done their laps yet, including the Mercedes I think. But now through into the stadium section, braking nice and late at the black box there, and 2nd gear for the first part, and then short shifting up to 3rd and 4th on the exit, and then through the final corner, keep trying to take as much speed as possible through the exit, traction zone here, keeping it nice and planted and down towards the line. It's a 14.0, so half a second quicker than we managed in Q1, and it's a pole position, or provisional pole at the minute. Obviously it's only Q2, but that was all I had to do in Q2 as well, and for the first time this season we're through into Q3, which is unbelievable really. I don't know where this pace came from, because yeah, in USA you saw I qualified on just off the back row in 20th place, and then one race later with I don't think it's any upgrades, and we're suddenly into Q3. It's just, I guess the track suited my driving style a lot more. It's a track I do enjoy. I don't think the AI are very good in the middle sector especially, but this is my first lap in Q3 through the first complex of corners here, keeping it nice and clean there, and on the exit down towards turn 4, trying to get a nice run through here, braking just 400 meter board, 3rd gear for the entry. Actually, 2nd gear for the extra rotation there, keeping it in 2nd for the slower speed corner through this first stadium section of the lap. Nice and committed through here, 2nd gear for the exit, and short shifting for the traction and into the middle sector, where I've been strong through all the qualifying sessions so far. Can we have a nice one again? Taking a lot of apex curve on the inside there, over the curve every time really, and now trying to keep it as flat out as possible through here. Really committed, and it's 7th gear for the exit and down towards the sector split. Are we purple again? Yes we are, and I don't know why, but that middle sector was really suiting this car and my driving style. But Ricardo does a 14.3. I was 3/10 up on that in Q2, so can we try and match that again? Taking a lot of curve on the entry of the stadium there, not too great with a lap time, but through the exit, try and get 3rd gear nice and planted on the throttle. Bottas to the 13.6. Can we be anywhere near that? And it's going to be a 13.8, which is insanely good. That lap was incredible, and yeah, at the end of the session, you can see the time's about to go, but it's P5 currently. And yeah, the end of the session, braking a little bit early for turn 4, try to keep it cleaner than last time. We're still pretty much level in my first lap, but through this section, try and keep it nice and committed. But 3rd gear and exit over those curbs, and that's unsettled the back end loads. And unfortunately, we've lost all the time. There's not really much chance of getting that time back. So it looks like I'm not going to improve, and that first lap in Q3 will be the one that sets my grid position. But try and be really committed through here, pretty much taking it flat out. And that's a little bit too fast there, and the back end doesn't agree with what I've done. And yeah, I'm now facing a barrier, which is obviously the ideal way of ending a session. But once everyone done the laps, I was still 5th. So yeah, best of the rest really after the Ferraris and the Mercedes, with ahead of both Red Bull cars, which is just ridiculous really, because De Vries was 19th, and this is still high AI. This is 105, I believe, or 106. I can't quite remember. But yeah, I decided to go for the soft, medium, soft strategy. The 2-stop, as the 1-stop isn't really possible from softs, and we're actually in the top 10 for once. But yeah, onto the 5 red lights for the Mexican Grand Prix from 5th on the grid. And it's a long hold, but we're away at last, and by my starts this season we might be leading by turn 1, and it's a good start actually compared to Leclerc. We're going to try to look down the outside straight away, but unfortunately with the way this track is, Leclerc's now got slipstream off of Hamilton, and yeah, that doesn't really give me a chance. So yeah, making a bit of contact, but we can take Ketten nice and clean, but we're still in 5th. Vettel's going through on Bottas, Verstappen sends one on me, but running outside off turn 1, we should be able to hold that ahead of the Red Bull, and it's 3 wide up ahead, trying to keep it clean and try to look for any opportunity. Vettel going slowly on the inside there, hit his rear diffuser a bit, but just about avoiding damage luckily, and now down towards turn 4, trying to keep it nice and clean. I don't know what the race pace is going to be like. It's a bit of an unknown quantity really, as we're so out of position it felt like on the grid, but our pace was there the whole session through. It's not like it was changeable conditions or anything, so it'll be very interesting to see where we are in the race in terms of pace. But yeah, if we can stay with the Ferraris, I'll be very, very happy, and we'll see what happens really. And yeah, down towards the middle sector for the first time, trying to keep it nice and clean. But a lap later actually, Vettel into turn 4, we're purple obviously, but everyone's going to be purple at the minute. It's lap 2, so nothing to shout about really. But you can see there's a little bit of a gap emerging to Albon and Verstappen already, almost a second now to Alex Albon in the Red Bull, and Vettel is going pretty slowly in exit here, and we've seen it in qualifying all the way through. I was so quick in the middle sector compared to AI, so yeah, can we try and replicate that in the race and try and keep it nicely on the track and really, really committed to take as much speed as possible. Obviously heavy fuel is very different to quali, but over the curb nicely and not even corner cutting there at all. And now down towards the next corner, towards the stadium section. Are we close enough for a move? Vettel's going to go defensive actually, so we're going to try and line one up maybe, get a nice switchback run. Vettel's going so slowly, so we're going to try and seize the opportunity, absolutely send one on the onto the hairpin of the stadium section, and Vettel has to back out of that, and it's a very opportunistic move, probably a little bit dirty from his point of view, as is that corner, but we'll talk less about that the better. But I was quite happy with that. I think obviously if I was in Vettel's position I would have been very annoyed, but and you can see lap 6 quite a lot later we managed to stay with Leclerc, and Vettel is 3 seconds back, so this pace is unbelievable stuff. I don't quite know where it came from. I don't know if I gave Vettel damage potentially, but either way the Red Bulls still can't get past him. So yeah, my eyes are set focused on Leclerc now, and maybe for a podium place. And early in the race obviously we've got a long way to go, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But at the minute we're really on the pace with Bottas and Leclerc. Hamilton's not even that far up the road either, but we've got a massive gap already to Vettel and Albon, and now down towards the middle sector, trying to keep it nice and clean. Once again the Ferraris are pretty weak through low speed corners, but that oversteer there won't be helping at all, so no opportunity on this occasion. But then one lap later, same place in the track, and down towards turn 4, going a little bit wide that time, but Gasly's out of the session. It is AlphaTauri, and that's going to cause a safety car quite early in this race, but these softs were on the edge really, so I decided to I was going to pit at the end of this lap onto the mediums. I was still going to commit to the soft medium soft strategy, but just bring forward the first pit stop a bit. Obviously the safety car will allow us to save tyres, but into the pit lane, and as the Mercedes are so close together, they're one that Bottas is going to have to queue behind Hamilton. You can see on the right hand side there, so we should get ahead of Bottas as long as it's a clean pit stop up into the podium places. And yeah, I don't really know where this pace was, as I've said before. I'm pretty flabbergasted to be honest, but yeah, into the box now, and it's onto the mediums. Lotus giving me a nice pit stop, and actually we've jumped Leclerc. It's going very close actually, and yeah, Leclerc's had to ghost behind me, so we're up into second place. It's actually third as Giovinazzi goes past. It's crucial we keep Raikkonen behind in the other Alfa Romeo, as they're going to be quite hard to pass with that straight line speed, and we've just about done it. Leclerc is actually behind Raikkonen, so we've got a buffer to him as well, so perfect stuff. And now on the restart, we need to clear Giovinazzi as soon as possible. Hamilton's still in the lead on softs. Leclerc's on softs as well. Myself on mediums. The 2 Alfa Romeos in the mix, but haven't stopped yet. And now on the restart, try and put it straight into rich and overtake mode. That Alfa Romeo is going to be so hard to pass on a straight line. We've seen it multiple times this season, just how good they are on the straights. But yeah, Giovinazzi may have been close enough for everyone Hamilton, but no, it's turn 1. He's going to think better of it. And yeah, braking nice and sensibly, not close enough to Giovinazzi, but the pace should be no competition really. We've seen quite a few times this season we've been racing Alfa Romeo like for net position, or even like outpaced by them all race. But yeah, this time we're like a pit stop ahead of them effectively, and then through the middle sector, one lap later, actually lap 10 now, and Giovinazzi's going so slowly through here. We really need to capitalise so quickly, because Leclerc's getting hemmed in behind Raikkonen as well. And can we maybe think of move into this next corner, and we're going to absolutely send one down the inside, braking nice and late, third gear. That's actually a very clean move. Obviously Giovinazzi has those old tyres, which won't be helping him at all, but we've cleared him up into second place, and now we need to really bolt and try and stay ahead of Leclerc as much as possible. And Saki Bottas is still in traffic on the minimap there, so yeah, Leclerc getting hemmed in by Giovinazzi as well. He's cleared Raikkonen, but we need to really go for it. But a few laps later, unfortunately, the DRS has now been enabled, and Leclerc has cleared both of the Alfa Romeos, and it's now on the back of me. But you can see once again, the gap that we've got behind Leclerc to 4th place is 5 seconds, and Bottas is still behind both Alphas. But meanwhile, Leclerc's going to go down the inside into turn 1 on those softs. So unfortunately, yeah, not quite having the pace to keep Leclerc off that for that long. But still, he's on the softer tyres, obviously, so later in the race we might have a chance to come back at him. But you can see the gap to Bottas is over 5 seconds now because of the Alfa Romeos, really doing me a favour. And down towards turn 4, nothing doing with Leclerc, even though he's going to go defensive. So really, a podium looks very possible at the minute if we can just keep the pace up. 13 laps into this race, Hamilton looks already gone, really. He's got it sealed, got the race win in the bag almost, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, I'm going to be in the soft later in the race, so it'll be interesting. Through the middle sector, loads of understeer there. Can't get anywhere near Leclerc on this occasion because of the dirt, yeah, through this high-speed section. It's very hard, but a long way into the race, and Leclerc has now finished his second stint, so up into second place again. But the gap to Bottas is 8 seconds, and to Albon it's 11, so yeah, the pace was insane. My tyres are doing fine at the minute, and I don't know where it came from, but locking up like that won't do any favours for it. But yeah, and oversteer on the exit as well. But Hamilton has also finished his soft tyre stint onto the mediums for the rest of the race. Leclerc actually went into hards, I don't know if you saw on a previous lap, but I've inherited the lead, and 6 laps later, we're going to go onto the soft tyres this lap because yeah, my front left was not feeling too good. But Hamilton has already closed up that pit stop advantage, although he was about 10 seconds clear anyway, so he's closed up at another 10 seconds on these fresh mediums, and he's going to pretty much be all over me as I'm going to pit anyway. So yeah, the race win really is sealed by Hamilton at the minute, but Leclerc is only 11 seconds back, so it's going to be quite hard because it's going to be a long way behind him once we come out of the pits. But on the soft tyres, we never know what's possible. Raikkonen's still punching above his weight in 5th as well, so well done to him. But I think he might have another stop to do yet. We'll have to wait and see. But into the pit box for the soft tyres. The tyres were absolutely gone at the end of that stint. But yeah, soft tyres at 2.1 second, which is very good. Leclerc's already gone through. Bottas has gone through as well with a huge undercut of like 6 or 7 laps. So we're down to 4th again, but this would still be the best result of the season. And Raikkonen is in the pits as well, so Albon is going to be the car behind. And the gap is 11 seconds. It's actually coming down 6 seconds when you get up to speed, but still, on these softs, we shut up the pace, and you can see straight away, a couple laps later, we're on the back of Valtteri Bottas on those dead medium tyres. And a top 4 is pretty much in the bag already, unless something catastrophic happens. But maybe even a podium, as we've got the pace over Bottas, and we're going to set the purple lap at 15.9, which is pretty decent for this stage in the race. Obviously, the soft tyres helping a lot. We've got plenty of fuel to use as well. And now, a few laps later, lap 30, and we're into the DRS of Valtteri Bottas, trying to get a nice clean run through this first sector. And who would have thought that we'd be, in the first season of this My Team career mode, fighting the Mercedes for a podium finish? Obviously, Bottas' race has been pretty compromised by traffic and everything, but we've been there to pick up the pieces. And now down towards turn 4, we're nowhere near close enough for on this occasion, but it's trying to keep it nice and clean. And closing in on the fin in the Mercedes, and really looking for any opportunity now. He's got a bit of oversteer there, and I touched the back end, but not quite getting damaged, luckily. And now through the next middle sector, we've been very strong through there. So can we make anything happen through this next few corners? Try to keep it nice and clean. Obviously, the very high grip from these soft tyres compared to those mediums, and my commitment has just been higher through here than the AI all weekend, and we're keeping it on track nicely there, and we're very close down this DRS straight and into the next corner. We did this on Giovinazzi earlier. Can we make it work on Bottas as well? Wheel-to-wheel contact there, side-by-side racing, and we're up into 3rd place with 6 laps to go. We're ahead of Valtteri Bottas into the podium positions, and we're staring at our first podium in Formula 1 for this new Lotus team. And what an unreal race this has been. But down into the exit, and Bottas has already lost 0.8 of a second, so he's gone. We've got broken the DRS, and lap 35 now, we're looking at Leclerc maybe for 2nd place. He's on the hards, which are not looking too good at the minute, and my softs are closer to the edge than they should be, but they'll still have more performance than the hards, I'm pretty sure. Leclerc's just going so slowly for this first complex, and that's probably going to allow Bottas to catch up. But it's only a lap and a half to go now. Surely we're going to get a podium finish here. We've got 17 seconds back to Albon's. I don't know what the Red Bull's pace has been up to this race, but yeah, into turn 4 now, braking nice and late, locking up the front left, which isn't going to help. But we've definitely got the pace over Leclerc this stint, definitely on the hards. But starting the final lap of the race now, we're 6/10 back, so maybe not unless the straight line speed can be insane. We're using as much ERS as we can, but we've only got 5% left and no fuel really, so it's going to be very difficult to close. But we are doing in the slipstream and DRS. He's going to go defensive in the Ferrari. We're going to switch the outside line, brake nice and late. Leclerc's compromised on that narrow line. We're going to swing on all the way around the outside, and it got the inside line for turn 2, and that's that. We're up into 2nd place in this race. Hamilton has won by an absolute country mile. But we're looking at a P2 finish. My previous best this season, it was 6th place in Baku, I believe. And this is an unreal result if we can hold on to it. Just a half a lap to go now. And Leclerc on those hards has got nothing to come back at us with. And we've seen through the middle sector, very strong. And now through the stadium section, the confetti is coming out. Hamilton has won the race, and we've got a little bit of a gap to Leclerc now. And coming around the final corner, it's going to be P2. in the Mexican Grand Prix. I have no clue where this came from, but yeah, absolutely unreal scenes here in Mexico. And it's, yeah, our first ever podium in Formula 1, and what an unreal race. I don't know, like, I didn't feel like I drove particularly well. I guess the AI are pretty poor there. But there we are on the podium. The overalls are still for the old livery from before Silverstone, so I didn't bother changing them. So they look a bit out of place now, but whatever. I haven't seen them so far this season, so I'll take what I can get and move on. But yeah, podium finish there. My fellow Brit Lewis Hamilton winning the race, and Charles Leclerc on the podium for Ferrari, bringing home the first silverware for the team. And I'm very, very happy, obviously, with that result, and hopefully we can move on to bigger things in Season 2. But the pace of that car then, if we can continue replicating that throughout next season, we might have a good chance of fighting at the front. But yeah, purple lap as well, so we got the bonus points, and 19 points in the championship, which is really going to help in the Constructors, because I was consigned to finishing 9th in the Constructors. But that's really going to change things, because AlphaTauri were only about 8 points ahead, and now obviously with those at 19 points, we're going to be well in the midfield again, up to 10th in the championship. That pretty much looks as high as we're going to get, really. Perez is a bit too far ahead. My teammate De Vries still on 2 points. He didn't score points there. I don't quite know what happened to his race, but it wasn't too good. Hamilton retakes lead of the championship. I'm back into the top 10, and we're ahead of AlphaTauri now, which is the important thing, and right on the back of Alfa Romeo as well. So potentially P7 could be on the cards, which would be a very good finish considering where we were a few races ago. Absolutely smashing Lando in the rivalry breakdown as well, so happy with that. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. I certainly did, and yeah, if you did, then leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more. This has been JY83, and I'll see you next time.